Hi everyone, welcome. This is Ru on Paper, and today we will be taking a look at how I'm going to use my Common Planner for 2024. If you're new here, welcome. Glad to have you. My name is Ru, and I talk about all things planners, stationery, fountain pens, fountain pen inks, and all of the good stuff. So let's dive into it. I have my Common Planner in this Have a Nice Day cover by Hobonichi. This is the almond color. It's a no-nonsense cover. It does not have any pockets. It's just a cover, but it's great. It has a great feel, beautiful color, and it will house my Common Planner for 2024. So right here in the front, I stuck down this gorgeous card that I got. Oh, it's very shiny. That doesn't really work. But it's a really pretty card, and this will sort of be my inspirational first thing that I see when I flip open the planner. By the way, sorry for the very bright artificial lighting today. It is very dark outside. It is very gloomy. I was waiting for some sunlight, but it does not seem to happen today. So here we are. I just turned on some lamps, and we'll have to make do today. So the first page that we flip to is the year at a glance overview. This is just a calendar of the entire year. I will not really be using it for anything specific, except for flipping to it when I want to see is the 3rd of April a Wednesday or a Thursday? What week are we on? It's just an easy reference. I could use it to track some things. I've seen people mark off the days where, for example, they did one specific habit that they want to improve or that they want to track. But I figured I already have a habit tracker further in the planner, so it wouldn't really make sense to add another one. Then you get an empty spread, 2 pages, that do not have any sort of predefined purpose. And what I want to be doing here is write sort of a letter to myself on the very last day of the year. So the page is currently empty. And this is where I sort of want to write down my hopes and dreams and goals for the next year, just in sort of a free-form letter to myself kind of way. And I plan to frequently come back to it and remind myself of sort of what I was hoping for 2024 me to do, to happen, what sort of mindset I want to remind myself to have. Then the Common Planner has a goal breakdown page. And what you can do here is write down, you have room for 6 goals. You can write down the type of goal, the category, anything like that. And then you write down what you want to do or have or be someday for that goal. And the funny thing is, for most of us, a goal is never really more specific than that someday goal. Someday I want to be rich, famous. I want to be good at drawing. I want to be fluent in a specific language. But I don't know about you, but not making a goal any more specific than that will most likely not help you improve at all. So what Catherine did when she designed this planner is she added a 1 year, a half year, a quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily sort of subdivision of that goal. So for example, say you want to get fluent in another language, then you might say, okay, well, in 1 year, I want to have a basic conversation with someone without struggling too much. That means that in half a year, I want to finish this course that I started. And I don't know, daily, maybe I want to do some vocab revision. I think this could really work, but for me personally, I think this is just not enough space to be really specific about it. So I might fill this in later, but I do want to do this sort of exercise first, just with unlimited space, maybe just on the computer, Microsoft Word, and just type down, these are the goals that I want to work on. This is where I want to be at in 1 year or in half a year for the next quarter, and see if maybe I can sort of whittle it down enough to put it in these boxes, but more likely than not, it will just remain there so that I can have the full thought process behind it. Then, weirdly enough, this is one of the pages I'm most excited about. This is a sort of breakdown of the quarter, and there are many different ways in which you can use this. And I was very much inspired by some creators that have made videos about their 2024 setup or the setups that they used this year. But unfortunately, I do not remember who I got this idea from. But on the left page, I marked down 31 days for January with, on the y-axis, 5.5 to 9.5. And I want to track two things here. My sleep hours, ideally those will be somewhere around 7 or 8 each day. In practice, they vary wildly. And the second thing that I want to track is the hours of truly focused work each day. So not really like I sit down at 9 and I shut down my computer at 5. So that means 8 hours of work, because not all work is equally focused. And I really want to improve the amount of hours that I do focused work, so that I'm not constantly looking at emails or maybe even social media, or that I'm interrupted, but just really the hours that I get down to work, deep focus, get in the flow, as you might say. And I hope to do that for at least 5.5 hours each day, but maybe even that's very optimistic. I don't know if you've ever tracked the amount of hours of focused work you do, but when I last did this, I was really surprised at how low that number was. So that's something that I'm going to try to improve. And I figured that I might do this in the same sort of table, in the same graph as sleep hours. For the first month, there's going to be a test. If that does not work, if it's too chaotic to see it in one graph, or maybe if it's too, if the numbers are too far apart to really make it workable in one graph, then for the next month, I might just do one of the two. So we'll see. Then on the right page, I wrote down 10 habits that I want to track. Some of these are already quite ingrained, some of these aren't. And I just tick off the box for each day that I do this or do not do this. So the first one is exercise. I want to move my body at least in some specific way each day. So this might be going for a run, going for a walk, cycling somewhere, doing a workout. I don't want to be too specific about what I have to do. I just want to be mindful about moving and exercising each day. I want to eat fruit each day. I am great at eating tons of vegetables, but somehow I'm really bad at eating fruit each day. Even though I don't particularly dislike it, it's just that usually I forget. I want to floss each day. Same here. I never forget to brush my teeth. That is a non-negotiable. I brush my teeth twice a day, always, no matter the circumstances. But somehow I very often forget to floss. I want to meditate more frequently. I want to journal, ideally every day. I want to keep track of how often I play the piano, how often I sing, and how often I read. Those are not specifically things that I want to do every day. It's not a habit that I'm trying to build, but it is something that I feel like I want to do a bit more often. And I think that tracking it can help me even just sort of remind myself, okay, I have not played the piano today. I do have some time left. So maybe that is something that I would want to do in that time. I want to track my language learning. Currently, I'm trying to learn Japanese. I'm studying Japanese, but that is going very, very slowly. And I have this idea in my head that I really have to sit down to study and sort of have big blocks of time. But that is just, I feel like that's also something of an excuse, saying, nah, I just have 15 minutes today. That is not enough to study, because you can do something in as little as 5 minutes if you just have a clear idea of what you can do with what amount of time. So I want to track if I've done any language study that day, and I want to track my no spend days, where obviously the goal is to not spend more, but to spend less money. So obviously, I've established some rules for myself what counts as spending, because I do want to do groceries. And if we run out of gas for our car, then obviously we have to get that. But these are more sort of the unnecessary spending. Maybe I've bought a book while I still have many books that I could be reading, just standing in my bookcase. Or maybe I've bought another fountain pen ink that I really did not need. So those are the things that I want to track, where obviously the no spend will mean that I can check off the box if I did not spend money. I've only filled this in for the first month. Maybe I'll continue this for the entire year. But this way, if something doesn't really work the way I wanted it to, I can make tweaks after the first month and nothing really happens. Then we get to the monthly page where the planner actually starts in December. So I could already use one of these spreads, which is this one. I've decorated it and I filled in the days that I have appointments, that there are some things that I want to remind myself of, some things that I have to do, maybe some celebrations, holidays, and there's plenty of room for decoration. So at the beginning of the month, I filled in all of the things that I already knew were going to happen, and I decorated around the calendar. And as the month goes on, for example, here, I knew that these days I didn't have anything. So I put in this bigger sticker. For me, it wouldn't really make sense to put this in a space in the calendar where I'm not sure if maybe I want to write something down at a later point. So that's why I just wait. So maybe if nothing comes up in these days, then I'll put some stickers down there as well. And then we get to the weekly pages. And this is where I want to write down most of my to-do lists. In the sidebar, or maybe below the days, I can write down the things that I have to do at some point in the week, not knowing really what day I want to do it. And the specific columns for the days is what I will be using for the to-do list of the day. So I might just make one long to-do list. I might divide it in separate categories, maybe things I want to do in and around the house, things that are related to work, things that are related to free time. Or maybe I want to divide it by moment of the day. So it will be a block for the morning, a block for the afternoon, and a block for the evening. I don't really know yet. I look forward to figuring out what works for me, what doesn't, and maybe I'll just sort of rotate it depending on how much I want to write down for that specific day. And then the biggest part of the planner is just these empty pages. There is one for every day of the year, and then some. And what I want to do is write down I want to dedicate one page to one day of the year. So I just want to write down the date, the day. So for example, Monday, January 1st. And then that page is for journaling and just any sort of decoration that I'd like to do for that day. So you might think one entire A5 page, that's a lot of journaling for each day. And I think that's true. I have a very small handwriting. I tend to make shorter sentences. So I don't think I need an entire page for each day. However, for the last year, I was using an A6 planner, and I frequently found myself having to choose between writing something or putting down some nice decorative stickers, for example. And I felt like that wasn't really the point. Like, I want to have enough space to write, but I also really enjoy decorating my pages. So I figured if I just sort of enlarge the canvas that I'm working with, I can do both. And one day I might decorate a bit more, one day I might write a bit more. And if on some days I don't have enough time and I just use half a page, that is also okay. But I feel like an A5 page a day is the perfect size to not have too much space, but also not really frequently run out of space. So yeah, this is what I will be using the A5 Common Planner for. Like I said in another video, this is going to be sort of the headquarters, the main hub, the planner that I will be in the most during the day. I will probably have this open on either the journaling page or the to-do list page, just on my desk for the entire day, which means I will frequently look at it, write something down. And at the end of the day, I will fill out all the things that I didn't get to. But this is really the planner that will be the foundation of my entire planning system for the next year. If the rest of the planner system is something that you're curious about, if you want to know more about how I plan to use 4 planners and 3 sort of different journals together in one system for 2024, then please check out the video in the cards. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day.